This is the September webinar, and we're coming in at the end of the year. And I know a lot of you are like, end of the year, holidays, we're nowhere near that. No, we're right around the corner of that. So we're going to talk about a couple of things on that, some things you need to prepare for. Just some really cool stuff. But before we get going, I do want to do a little bit of a survey. I want to survey you to find out, first, how many of you attended the ACEs meeting with Parisa Jamshed. Just go ahead and put in the chat, me. Great. That got fantastic response. We're going to take that webinar. We're going to take little bits of it. And Parisa just laid down the law. It was just fantastic. I really enjoyed that data. I think the next webinar, if I can convince Dr. Rich Salvatore, Dr. Vera Salvatore, Kathleen, and Beth, that would be a follow-up of their amazing presentation at the Owners Conference 2025. So we'll get that date. We'll confirm it, see if they're available. They're busy people. But we're going to make that a bit of a question and answer period for, just everybody. How do they do what they do? What is their sales line? It's going to be your question. So if we can confirm that down, then make sure that they're available for that time. We'll probably send out some questions. What would you like to know from the Salvatores? We'll make it an open question and answer period. It's fantastic information. If you went to the 2025 Owners Conference and saw that presentation, the four of them were on stage and they were mobbed afterwards, mobbed to such a degree that they said, listen, why don't we set up a follow-up question and answer period? We'll do that. And we just haven't gotten around to it. People are busy, things and schedules and that sort of thing. But if you would like that, if you're down for that, if that would interest you, if you like some, like an hour Q&A with a top team, put Salvatore in the chat. And if you're watching this as a recorded version, I'd like you to put Salvatore in the comments of our YouTube channel on this video, just to see, yeah. And then what we're going to take up is, if that's a go, then we're going to get a survey out to you. What would you like to know? And so we'll come a little prepared. So there's that. Now, we do all sorts of stuff. We talk about internal, external. We talk about print marketing. We talk about, of course, everything we do, which is everything digital, search engine optimization, websites, digital reactivation, Google Ads, implant funnels, all sorts of different marketing things that we do. But we talk about everything marketing. We even talk about all the steps to get marketing going, surveys, all the way through to the phone ringing, how to answer the phone, how to handle patients, the sales line. I would love it. And that's great. Thank you for all the enthusiasm about Salvatore's. That's great. What would you like us to cover at either this webinar? Because I got a half an hour with you. Well, actually, I got 24 minutes left, but I got a little bit of time for you. Anything that's time sensitive that you would like me to take up right now, this is open floor for you. So, and you got me for the next 24 minutes, and we got some great stuff for you. So what would you like me to take up? What are the areas of concern? So let's see, we got one here. Rindy, Kaylin here. Okay, it's actually Kaylin. How to get team members to participate in TikToks, photos, videos, etc. Good. Kathleen, get ready for that one. Good. Any marketing specific to open enrollment? How can we reach companies? Great question. And Lisa, we've got a special answer that we've been working out because you've requested that very specifically. Because so many people here have such a different approach. Some people, are participating in insurances. Some people are not participating in insurances. Well, of course, they take them, but they're not necessarily in network with a lot of PPOs. And then some are kind of half and half, and some want more insurance patients and some don't want more insurance patients. It's an interesting thing. So Lisa, thank you for that. Britt has been preparing something on that very specifically for you, but she might even talk about it today. We'll see. Good. So I'm going to take up a couple of things that I think are very important points. And this is certainly towards the end of the year. Right now, you should be doing this and getting this ready for October, first week of October, first week of November, first week of December. You must get out your use it or lose it campaign, your use it or lose it campaign. So what is that? Whether you are participating in PPOs or not, if people have insurances or they don't have insurances, you have like a public service announcement, a PSA. It's like a community betterment. I'm going to be here for you as your dentist. We're going to just really make life easier on you. Your insurance benefits reset come the end of the year. So if you haven't used them, you will lose them. That message needs to go out. And that needs to go out on your digital reactivation campaign if you're doing that. It needs to go out on an email campaign. It needs to go out on print marketing. It needs to go out as a social media message. It needs to go out as every possible channel you can. I would, if I were you, I'd do a little video, a little public service announcement. I'd make it fun. End of the year's coming. The last thing you want to think about is getting to the dentist. But listen, it could save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And those are insurance benefits that are yours until they're not. And they will not be as of December 31st. So I would have some fun with that message. Good. And then Tracy, we did a short video last year and had a great response. Tracy, could I ask you to just talk about the video and what did you say? If you don't know Tracy, she's here every single webinar. Tracy, I don't call on you often, so I hope I'm not catching you out, but I would really love it if you'd open up your microphone and tell folks a little bit about what you did.
Yes, actually, Dr. Head herself did the video, and her son is on the webinar right now, Alex, and he did help her with that video. They did a great job, but we had a great response. We put it on all our social media platforms, and it was just something that was more one-on-one, the doctor telling them, and the response was great because she reached out to them and just saying, hey, I'm looking out for you. Insurance companies do this, and they want to make sure that you get the best benefits that you can use before the end of the year and you lose it.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, how did you get Dr. Head to do a video?
Alex, you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, come on, Alex. What did you do for Dr. Head to go on video? I've been trying for years. What did you do, Alex?
She just asked me if there were any ways to help, promote what she was wanting to promote, and asked me for ideas. And I suggested just doing a short little video and just trying to make it as comfortable for her as possible. It took a few trial runs, and then it ended up turning out great. So
yeah, you did a great job. It looked amazing.
Thank you.
Well done, team. How long was the video, roughly?
Oh, 44 seconds, I think, something.
Yeah.
Like it's under 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Short and to the point.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well done, team. Thank you for that. Let's give those two a hand. Well done, guys. Just for nothing else, for getting Dr. Head to do a video. Well done. She's just so awesome. But she's another one of those doctors who's like, oh no, I'm horrible. I look at
Yes.
And she looked great and she did a great job.
Yeah. Nice job. Nice job, team. Okay, good. Thank you for that. Kathleen, would you mind chiming in? What do you got to do to get this gosh darn team to get in the spirit of TikToks and Reels videos and Instagram and all that? Do we have Kathleen still? She might be with the patient. Parisa, I have heard amazing response from your ACEs presentation. And I just asked at the very beginning of this, what do y'all think? And they loved it. Thank you for all that. And any other thoughts that came to mind after the presentation?
Oh, it was a pleasure, Dan. It was so fun doing. I really think what hit home, because I got a lot of messages after, was just the point of just good control in the office. And I know that sometimes easily goes out when we get, beat up a little bit, or when something happens in the office and we're just like, and things just kind of go down. That's just the number one thing I want everyone to remember this week and, all the weeks going forward is just, even if it's one little thing in the office, the more control you have in it and that you bring to the table, the numbers will go up, and it's just a matter of time. So anyways, just keep hitting that home and you guys will do great. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, great. Parisa, I want to ask you on that. So when you say increase your control of the office, and I know what that means. We've had long discussions about this. Can you give some examples of what do you mean by that? And where is this control being exerted? And how do you increase the control?
Oh, sure. What I basically mean by it is just have your receptors on, like if you feel like there's a department that, your phones aren't ringing as much, you start investigating that, start pulling strings and kind of just see what's going on with that. Let me listen to a call or two, or get one of my staff members to listen to a call and give me feedback. Cause I know there's some offices where, it's not a big staff. So you really have to use your resources wisely. But even if you can just get someone to get on the phone and just listen to those calls and try to debug why we're not converting those patients. What's going on where we're missing that? Or, if the phone's not ringing at all, let's look at the different marketing platforms and just see where, do I need to put a tracking number on this so I can see better where the calls are coming from? What do I need to do to just put more focus on it for a couple minutes and kind of just figure it out? So you don't have that feeling inside of you where you're like, I know something's off, but I don't have any control over it. I don't have time to look at it, or, I don't want to say excuses, but all the reasons why we don't dig into it. But if you do dig into it, it'll correct. So just focus on that. I
love that. Thank you again for that.
You're
amazing.
Welcome.
You just knocked it dead. And I've gotten so much fantastic response on that. So folks, I will be cutting that up and seeing if I can make little tidbits of what Parisa said and taking some of those gems and we'll make them into shorts. How many of you would like that? Put yes in the chat if you would like some of those snippets and some of the gems that Parisa covered. Look at that. Yeah. So chat's on fire. Fantastic. We will do that. Now, Kathleen is back. Kathleen, if you wouldn't mind weighing in, we had a question here about how do you get your team involved in TikToks and in the spirit of that, and how do you guys plan them? You guys come up with some, awesome ideas, some crazy ones. I'm sure that Dr. Rich and Dr. Vera are cringing during at least half of them.
Yeah.
Could you share?
Yeah, definitely. We actually just filmed 2 this morning. What we do is we put a lot of the responsibility on our team. So they're responsible for coming up with ideas and bringing them to Beth and I so we can kind of weed out what's appropriate, what wouldn't be best for our audience, what's going to do really well. It really becomes like a camaraderie for our team. They really like filming them, especially if it's pranking Dr. Rich. It seems to have a great response from our patients and our team. He hates those ones, but the biggest thing we do is we set time aside. So if we know we want one that's going to include most of the team, we start our morning, each morning in our huddle with a game. But if we know that it's a TikTok that we want most of the team for, then we bypass the game and we film the TikTok prior to doing our production meeting. Then otherwise, we usually do it the last 10, 15 minutes of lunch. We have a group of girls that really love to be in content. So I play into the people that want to be included. So don't go to the ones that always give me like pushback about it or anything. If you have team members that are eager about it, that are interested in it, feed into that. Those are the ones that you want to build up. Beth and I created a social media star award. So at the end of every month, I literally go through and count our TikToks, our Facebook, Instagram posts and see who appeared in them most. And then they get a prize and they get a certificate. But really, it's all about having fun. If they bring us ideas and we know that they're going to have fun with it, that's kind of our priority. So we use it as like a team building, but also something for our patients. Our patients mention it all the time. They love it. Dr. Rich and Dr. Vera even come up with ideas sometimes. I don't know if people saw them, but she did one with the song, I Can't Feel My Face. It was her idea, but it was Dr. Rich like lip syncing while she was like pretending to numb him. So everyone really kind of comes together on them, but you feed into the people that want to do it. If people are giving you pushback, one, they don't really like to play games. So maybe evaluate that down the road. But if people are feeding into it, you want to build them up, reward them, incentivize them, have fun with it, and, get them posted.
I love that. Every part of it. Thank you for that. Kathleen, one more question on that.
Yeah.
So how do you schedule it and how many do you do a week? And how do you make sure that the office doesn't like depart some of the production related things? How do you fit it in?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you talked a little bit about the schedule when you do it and such, but maybe just a little bit more on so if somebody's getting into it, I could see that an office could become overly consumed with it or come off post. So tell me a little bit about that.
So how we kind of control it is the only way that you can record a TikTok is by using my phone or the office phone. So they're not just off by themselves, recording them by themselves. It has to be done with Beth or I. So that way we make sure, one, we're not taking too much time. We try and do one take, but like this morning, it took us 3 or 4 takes. We were struggling a little this morning, but we try and really control the amount of time. So if they want to film, we strictly keep it to the last 10 minutes of lunch. It's voluntary. They don't have to do it. They can do it, but they don't have to. And then we keep it to like the morning production meeting. If we do a team training day, we always try and do like content in there. Beth is taking the group to volunteer and they're cleaning up a park while I'm staying back to do some assisting with Dr. Vera. And we came up with some TikToks that they're going to film there. But it's all very much like structured. So we only spend 5 to 10 minutes. If you're spending more time than that, obviously it's taking away from your production. At the end of the day, these videos do bring in patients. Especially, we've closed a $72,000 case off of TikTok because a patient saw Dr. Rich, saw the team dancing around, and they were like, that's the kind of environment I want to have do my work. So they're very important, but they cannot eat up your whole day. So we're pretty strict on that. So the way we control it is Beth and I are in full control over when we do content.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Any other questions? Go ahead and put them in the chat and I might ask some more, Kathleen, but thank you so much for sharing. I think that's fantastic stuff. Thank you.
Of course, anytime.
Yeah. Good. So I touched on end of the year, use it or lose it, get that out. I think a number of you, and you could tell me, but some of you will see that during the holiday period, things go a little bit quiet in your office. And if it historically does so, this is the time to out-create that. This is the time to work up your targets, your goals, And what are you going to do to outcreate that? And what do I mean by outcreate that? What I mean is that it's going to happen. You're going to have, they're going to kind of disappear on holiday. They're not physically gone, but boy, they are mentally gone. Man, that person is gone. So if that's the case, if you see that statistically and historically, this is the time to prepare. This is the time to prepare. So don't wait until, we're, first or second weekend of December, our numbers are looking down. No. Put it in the chat. How many weeks before your promotional activities typically grab on and take effect? Put it in the chat. What do you all remember from your training at MGE? That's right, Tracy. That's right, Kathleen. That's right, Julia. Yeah, 6 weeks. And it might even be more than that, depending on the campaign. And listen, it might be a little bit less than that, depending on the campaign. But you don't want to get to December, first or second week, and go, things are falling, or it's Thanksgiving holiday time or whatever. So work that out. If you need help with that, get with your account manager here at Blumberg Digital, or get with your power client manager at MGE. What are different things we can do to outcreate that? So thumbs up on that, everybody, if you understand and agree. Thumbs up. Beautiful, just like that. Okay, good. One other thing. Oh, and this is awesome. So we have found a very interesting statistic. Now, some of you have a live answering service. And so when the office ends off for the day, flips over to a live answering service. And that's kind of best of choice. I mean, and some of you actually go home and you've got Weave or Add It, and it forwards to a phone to a staff member and such. But you got to know that there are calls that come in, and a great number of calls that come in typically after hours and on the weekend. If you don't have the phone covered and you're using an answering machine or a voicemail, I'm going to tell you, you are potentially losing a lot of very important traffic. And another key thing is you're going to be losing new patients, which is what we're talking about here. 1 to 2 new patients minimum is what we're seeing. Our clients who are using an answering service after hours, they're picking up 1 or 2 new patients. And in some cases, I've seen some people pick up 10 new patients a month from having an after hours answering service. Now, a live answering service can cost anywhere between $2,500 and $3,500. Sometimes even they aren't necessarily that switched on. So I talked to you last webinar a little bit about this. This is something that I'm really going to encourage you to do, because you might not be up to, I just don't have $2,500 or $3,500 to put to a live answering service. I can't justify that, and I would understand. But what did we do? We did this. If you want details about this, I'd like you to reach out to Miriam. Miriam, if you wouldn't mind, put your email in the chat. This is the after hours AI receptionist. And you can go here and just give it a shot. But 80% of people will hang up if they get a voicemail. I hope you all heard what I just said. 80% of people, the second they get a voicemail, next dental office on the list. So you got to know that you got to have something other than a voicemail. If you can't afford a live answering service, then that's fine. What we're doing on this, y'all, this is exciting. We are moving to the next level in AI, which is we are using AI to call and follow up your leads. This is being programmed right now, but I hope you all heard what I just said. Calling people and having an error. And you might think, well, gosh, what does it sound like? Well, you can go here and listen. We did a couple examples, Invisalign question. I'll play this one.
Hello, you've reached Bright Smiles Dental in Clearwater, Florida. I'm Lindsay, the AI receptionist, here to answer any questions you have. How can I help you?
Yeah, I just wanted to find out if you guys do those invisible braces. I think they're called Invisalign.
Yes, we do offer Invisalign at Bright Smiles Dental. It's a great option for straightening teeth discreetly. Can I get your name and number so Ashley or Jennifer can call you back to discuss it further and set up a consultation?
I suppose I was just trying to hope, that I could get a price. I went to another practice and their price kind of surprised me. And so, I'm just kind of calling around if that makes sense.
Totally makes sense. Shopping around is smart. Well, I don't have pricing details. Ashley or Jennifer can go over all that when they call you back. Plus, we offer a no-cost consultation to give you an estimate without any obligation. Would you like me to pencil you in for a time?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Great. Can I get your name, please?
My name is Dan Brown.
Thanks, Dan. And what's the best number to reach you at?
My telephone number is 212-555-1212.
Got it. 212-555-1212. Thanks, Dan. How did you hear about us?
I was searching for Invisalign dentist near me on Google, and you guys came up.
Perfect. Thanks for sharing that. I'll pencil you in for a general time early next week. Ashley or Jennifer will call you soon to confirm the exact appointment and go over pricing details. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome, Dan. I've got you penciled in. Ashley or Jennifer will reach out within the next business day to finalize everything. Is there anything else I can help with today?
Nope, that'll do it. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Dan. Thanks for calling Bright Smiles Dental.
So it is unbelievable what AI can do. And just so you all know, we've got 5 spots for everybody on it right now. You all know that we lowered it down to $500 a month. It's going to be $700 a month, but we're going to be doing some trial and error stuff with outbound calls. So we're like, okay, good. Let's get some more sampling. Somebody asked, well, is it customizable? Totally customizable. Hey, what do you want to do with insurance? Hey, what do you want to do with this? What are your operating hours? We get all that done. And we tried it in different languages. Miriam, who, speaks fluent German, started talking in German. It switched to German. We've had people try it in Spanish. It automatically detects the language. It says, hey, would you like me to switch to that language in that language? And the person just says yes. And 30 different languages. Okay, so we're moving it to $500 a month. Now, if you get in now, 5 spots. If you get in now, you're going to stick at that number. You're never going to have your price increased. So everybody who's on it, don't know if you know this, we just lowered the price to $500. Everybody who remains on it, it's month to month. So if you don't like it, give it a shot. But it's really interesting what we're seeing from our clients of how many calls are coming, and it's unbelievable. And it's not just that, like, what do you want the person to do if it's a dental emergency? And so there's a bunch of stuff, but the exciting thing is think about the leads and all the people that called in and but you never followed up and stuff. We're working out. And for those of you on a Google Ads campaign or an implant funnel, having AI call them and say, hey, this is an AI follow-up call. The doctor had a couple questions, just want to ask these questions, and it will just call for you. So that's the next phase of this, but we're really using AI and learning AI and how people talk and what questions they have. So you are being part and parcel of something that's evolutionary. So I'm going to suggest that. Let's see, some questions came in. Good. There are many weekend calls. There are emergency people with pain. How will it help? So if somebody calls and you're in an emergency or in pain, you tell the team what you want it to do. So in emergency, do you want it to text you? Do you want it to email you? Do you want to ask some questions and then refer them to a 911 or whatever? So we've got some pretty, awesome stuff that's built in there. But if you want it to do different things, but you can go there to that page. I'll go ahead and put the little QR code. If you want to get that special, there's 5 spots, and Miriam can help you with that. It's $500 a month. This is the introductory pilot stage. Okay, it will go to $700 a month, but anybody who's in there remains at $500 a month until you're not doing the service. So just give that a scan if you'd like, and we'll take care of you. I think AI is at an interesting stage, and I get asked this question almost every single week. Dan, what's new with AI? Dan, what's new with AI? Well, from a marketing perspective, there is a lot happening with AI, and it is changing almost weekly. So fortunately, here at Blumberg Digital, we have our top SEO teams. They are just ripping into it. And so you got a company here that's on the cutting edge of what's being done. But I will tell you, it's evolving. So it's very important that you keep your finger on the pulse of what AI is, what it has to offer you, what are some of the potential downfalls of it, and the fact that AI search is coming. Now, I did a full AI demonstration about 3 episodes ago. Even that's changed since then. And then we've got Gemini, that's Google's AI, which is coming, and that's going to be probably replacing Google Chrome and how you search for links and such. So it's exciting times, but just keep your antennas up on that. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this over to Britt, our amazing day-to-day leader. Everybody, let's welcome Britt Nateras. She's the boss here at Blumberg Digital.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you all.
All right, Britt. Well, you take it away. I hear you got some amazing content. You and Miriam are going to surprise some folks with some really cool stuff.
That's right. Miriam, come on down and join me. And if you want to fire up our presentation, basically, we are going to be talking about the 6 burning marketing questions that every practice asks. Miriam, you want to kick us off?
Here we go. So patient retention. Over to you, Britt.
Great. Again, at any time, throw a question in the chat. We're happy to answer any questions live and get into it that way. So basically, patient retention. So we're talking about relationship building. Some of you may do this, some of you may not do this, some of you might get a bright idea from this, but we got a lot of feedback that there was some patient attrition. So how can you keep that relationship stickier, warmer, fuzzier, all of that good stuff? So the basics: sending a birthday card, email, or text, little touches. You might have a little extra treatment for them or a patient gift, and recognizing patient milestones. Happy 5-year anniversary. You're rewarding people for their longevity. Some people are really proud of that and really happy about that relationship. Follow-up systems, obviously recall and reminder systems. We talked about this at one point, but personalization. You don't want to send out a text that just says, "Hey, you, why don't you come back in?" Names, the last time they were there, it's time for your next appointment. Even things as detailed as, for me, I don't grind, I clench, but I have the mouth guard. How's it going with your mouth guard? Something more specific. Obviously, you want to keep everything HIPAA compliant and private, but get as specific as you can, within the restrictions of HIPAA. Let's go to the next one. Office culture. So this is an interesting one. Kathleen, I bet you could speak a lot more about this, but as Kathleen was mentioning, office culture can be a factor for retention and kind of, what we're talking, the glue, the adhesion of patient retention. If they're looking for an office where they feel warm, comfortable, not scared, your office culture is going to be a big factor in that retention. Maintaining a calm, pleasant waiting room environment, no blasting TV commercials. So that's a big point. Visibility. So we talk about this a lot. We talk about this a lot in terms of omni-channel marketing. If you have a competitor who is doing ads on streaming services, is doing the Google ads, has an optimized Google business profile, is active on social media, is doing local services ads, they're going to seem more present than you. If they only see you that one time and then they don't see you after that, you're not as present in their minds. So you want to increase your visibility and stay ever present. And that really helps with retention as well. People on our Gold marketing platform are working with the account managers to always keep things updated, add new photos, take some photos of staff. Did you have a staff birthday? Great. Let's promote that as well. And then patient experience feedback. That helps with retention. When people feel like they're being listened to, they're going to want to stick with you. And especially if you change something based on their feedback, it's like, okay, great. I feel listened to, comfortable, and I want to stick with you. Okay, how to get more referrals. Ooh, patient raffles. I love that. People are going to stick around to see if they won the raffle, guys. They want that basket. Okay, good. Patient referrals. So I'm going to get into some tools regarding patient referrals. I will say these are the basics, and you can do a lot more beyond that. Parisa did share one of her referral cards. That's really awesome. That I'll show at the end in our promo section. Sorry, when I put my hands up, these twinkles come on. Try not to wave my hands around. But we've heard people say, oh, I'm going to send out mailers, or oh, I could send out postcards to do referrals. And then we say, okay, great. What's the process in your practice? And they go, we don't have a process in the practice. And I'm laughing, but it happens so much. Turnover training is a super big challenge, but I'm laughing because you don't want to start with the high dollar amount referral solutions. You could certainly send out mailers. You can certainly spend money on referral programs, but we really want you to have your basics in. And that means your team is asking happy patients for referrals. They have a script. They feel comfortable with, a specific pattern. It's like muscle memory. Parisa will tell you her establishment officer is like the head of the army of referrals. She really went over this in her presentation, and she was kind of saying people don't leave that office without giving a referral. And that's really important. So again, email Miriam, email me if you need a script on how to ask for referrals. If you don't have any materials to train your staff, if you need a video demo of how they should be asking for referrals, it's huge, and we want to help you with that. I'm a millennial. I found a dentist that I liked. She's 20 minutes away. The dentist a block away, he sent me a postcard. I tried it. He really hurt my mouth and it was a cleaning. So I found a dentist who's 20 minutes away, super duper gentle. And then after that, I brought my husband and my mother-in-law. So you want those multi-generational households. Also my kid's going to start going to the dentist. So how do you do that? You ask the happy people if there's anyone in the office who would like, the experience here as much as you do, if they'd be comfortable going here. Anyone in their family who hasn't been into the dentist for a while, could you make an appointment for them? Could they text them because you have some available appointments? There's various ways of going about it. Let us know if you want the scripts. We'll send it to you. Then once people come in, handwritten thank you notes, small gift cards. Just double check if you're in California and New York. Sometimes there's more strict rules about all these things, but at the bare minimum, just a nice handwritten thank you card is going to go a long way. And highlighting patient stories, sharing before and after successes. You can always text your testimonials. Your patient can bring it to their family and friends, show them those testimonials. And then you have a whole group of ambassadors and a whole referral army there. I was watching a video that Kathleen did about testimonials and success stories. I laugh because every time I watch testimonials, I just start crying. So it's very hard for me to show them in these presentations. But Kathleen tells people who have done testimonials and success stories when someone has come in for a similar treatment to experience what they have experienced. And she was just saying how rewarding it is for those people to come full circle. In all these testimonials, people are saying, don't wait. I can smile, I can eat, I can chew. And to hear that other people are experiencing those benefits, that's the reason people do testimonials, to help other people. So lean into all of those things when you're asking for referrals. You can't say, blah, blah came in for dental implants. Good point, Lisa. Definitely apply HIPAA and all of the legal guidelines to this. But, if someone did come in, you can say somebody received treatment and is very happy like you are. What promotions work well? Okay, so these are some general promotional guidelines. At the end of our presentation, we have an interactive promotional review. We're going to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly of some promotional samples, but here's what works well. Urgency and scarcity, only 10 new patients specials available this month. Expiration date. The expiration date can be great. It also can provide like a specific code. Like if you're doing a specific promotion within a specific month and it expires at a specific time, it's very easy to add tracking information. Barisa's talking about control. That's a really good data point. If you have an expiration date and you can see what specials are working well, because they all come in within a certain time frame.
Right, to chime in on that, it ties into what Dan just went over earlier, right? With the end of the year coming up and open enrollment season and stuff like that. So that's a very good one to use now, between now and the end of the year, obviously, along with what he covered.
Yes, absolutely agree. Good. Risk reversal, money back guarantees, satisfaction promises, free replacement for aligners. So again, whatever you're comfortable with, that is going to be what you can offer, but it just provides a safety factor. There's no risk if they're going to spend some money on it. Satisfaction guaranteed is always a big button for people. Targeted offers, bundle family packaging, parent and child cleaning special. You definitely can say 15 slots in hygiene between now and the end of the year. You want it to be realistic. You can't say the same thing at the beginning of every month. regarding the year. If every month you say there's 15 slots left available in 2025, it can get repetitive. You can say we've got 15 spots in October, and change up the offer depending on what it is, or 15 new patient specials left makes a lot of sense in that context. But in terms of the bundled offers, there are definitely very successful offers we've seen where it's a BOGO, buy one, get one. If you bring in a friend, you get this for free, or both of you get it for 50% off. The parent and child bundle, any type of family bundle. In the BOGO case, it's, a friend. So it can be anybody, because some people are like, well, he's not my brother, but he's my best friend. You want to make it successful and test out what works for you. Seasonal promotions, as Dan talked about, use it or lose it. Super important. Back to school specials, spooky season cleanings. You can have a lot of fun with get your fangs checked up, whatever's on brand for your office, but you want to lean into seasonal. Put the social proof in your promotions. Rated 4.9 stars by 300 plus happy patients. Dr. Jones and Gloria, I think they have 1,700 5-star reviews. They put that on their postcards. These are really important data points for people to know that others are super comfortable at your practice. And this is something that Parisa brought up as well, and we'll show her sample postcards a little bit later. But speaking to someone's pain, if they're in a lot of pain, don't wait. It's time to address your pain. That definitely is a go button, because they're at the point of really, really needing help, probably waited too long. So if you can reach out to those people, unfortunately, sometimes it's the pain that outweighs their fear of the dentist that finally gets them to act. So you do want to get those people coming to your office for help. Consent for photos, videos. So this is something that was highly requested. How do you get consent for photos and videos? First of all, don't start by shoving the HIPAA waiver in their face. You do not want to get into the nitty-gritty legalese if they might be nervous about it, haven't done this before, and so forth. A lot of practices bake the HIPAA waiver into their new patient paperwork so that it's already handled. And then when it's time to check in with them about the service that they're super happy with, it's all a very smooth running machine. Kathleen has videos about this that we can send to you, but essentially it's what I talked about earlier. They do a great job of filming the patient reveals for implants or cosmetic work. So the person is on camera. Kathleen is making them very comfortable. They're talking about how their teeth feel, having the permanent implants in some cases. Then they're filming the reveal, asking them if they're ready to see it, handing them the mirror. They're filming this the whole time. Yeah, definitely easier to get the consent in the new patient forms up front. And then you can just, bring them back for their follow-up, obviously prep them that you're going to be filming it, but you get that reaction on film. I swear half the people cry, then I'm crying. And, the testimonials are very powerful. One gentleman said he hadn't eaten an apple since 1998. They say things that are just, pretty earth-shattering in terms of their health and what they're able to do now. And then you capture those moments. We also can get you a tutorial specifically on before and after images. And then you want to practice. So you want to have your HIPAA waiver ideally signed before. If not, you can work it into the process, but you want to start out with, John, you're so happy with your results. We would really love to share your story to help other people like you get the same relief that you've had. Would you mind filming this to help someone out who's in your position? Yes, I would. Okay, great. It's going to be very easy. I'm here with you. Don't worry about it. We're just going to have a conversation. You get the video testimonial, and then you can get the after photo. Ideally, it's part of your patient process to get the before photo once they've accepted treatment, but you have both of those data points. It's very, very, very important for your marketing to have before and after photos. The most effective Google ads, dental implant funnels, Facebook ads, and Google business profiles and websites all have before and after photos. It's very important to show your work in that regard. So again, if you need help putting that process in your office, let us know. We absolutely have clients we help with that, but we also have clients who are kind of like, I want more response on X, Y, or Z marketing. And we go, okay, great. Where are your before and afters? And they go, I don't have any. And we say, okay, great. Let's help you with that, because it's such an important part of making your marketing effective. Okay, ideas for social media posts. Again, this is something we have a lot of requests for. Our Gold marketing platform has a whole library of social media posts. And I want to say the benefit of that is you have a dedicated account manager who's kicking your butt to do your social media. I know a lot of you are very creative and you probably have a lot of ideas for social media, but you don't have the time blocked out at your lunchtime or your production meeting or some other time that you block out. And it's just a discipline point. So if you want someone to kick your butt, come on our Gold marketing platform. We'll help you with that. Okay, good. So the hottest social media types right now are educational tips. People love lists from the still on the Reddit days, still, from the Huffington Post days. They're called listicles, list articles. This has been modified for social media. 3 things you should know before choosing whitening, foods that secretly stain your teeth, top 10 reasons to get dental implants, top 5 reasons to choose a dentist with these qualities. Anything that plants the seed of a little bit of a mystery or gives them, they know how much time they're investing in this post. It's 3 reasons. Okay, good. I'm curious. What are those reasons? Top 3 reasons to do sealants, fluoride, whitening, etc. Other social media types that perform really well behind the scenes: shows, staff meeting, birthdays, training sessions, day in the life stories. Julia Delgado, if she's still here, she is kick butt on her social media. She does a ton of behind the scenes. She gets people dancing. So she's killer at her social media. Anything else, Julia, that's working for you these days that you want to share?
I do a little bit of everything. I definitely, with the social media, I try and incorporate every point, because I try and keep it fun and engaging for the patients, but then also like tie it back into like show like educational stuff with treatment. So I try and include everything. I think that's like the key to the social media, is to like get them engaged and do the fun things to get the patient engaged and like bring in the new people and, like get the eyes on us. And then throw in the testimonial and throw in the before and afters and throw in the educational stuff to keep the the educational content and the stuff that actually like is the purpose of the business. You know what I mean? So definitely keeping it fun for the staff to stay engaged, but also like having a mixture of and a variety of all types of content, like kind of everything that you're touching on. And then also just, the main thing for the fun things is staying on top of the trends. Anytime you see a trend, I always am like, how can I make this dentistry related? How can I, make this fun and appropriate for the office, of course. And then also like when, trends come up, especially like you'll see trends in the dental fields, I always make sure, is this going to be appealing to the patient, not to other dental staff? Because I always see that sometimes with dental offices. I'll see dental offices do fun videos. I'm like, that's so funny, but as someone that works in the dental office, not necessarily as a patient. So that's always something to keep in mind. Make sure it's appealing and fun for the patient and not just relatable for other dental offices. So always apply to the patient. That is the target audience. You want new patients. You want to appeal to your patient base, not to other staff members.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is so important. The 2 things that I love that you just said are, 1, focusing on the patient, because I have seen a lot of, like dental implant videos or videos that could be scary. You don't want to get into that. Or again, like you said, it's funny from maybe a practitioner's prank side of things, but it could make a patient uncomfortable. So super important to think with that. And then also, I love that you said, touch on it all, including the education. There is a point where if 100% of your social media content is the dancing dentist, you wonder, does this guy do dentistry or is he just a social media star? So that is such an important point tie in your good results, tie in the education, make it real, do the fun stuff, but use it as a way to attract people and then show all the good work you're doing. I love those points. Thank you. Other ideas, patient features. Again, we talked about before and afters a ton, super important. Fun and relatable, Dental Miss Busted, National Tooth Fairy Day shout outs. Our gold marketing platform has this, but also if you're on our email newsletter list, we'll let you know when it's National Tooth Fairy Day, National Health Month, National Lipstick Day, National Friend Day. There are so many kind of designated days that you can play into. And again, it's an interesting way of getting people interested in the practice, attracting them, and then getting across the message of how you help. Community involvement, again, super important. I know that was a question from someone earlier. How do you get more involved in the community and then highlight that? So you might have an interest within your practice that you care about, and you can also survey your staff. If they're animal lovers, volunteer for the Humane Society. If you already are super involved, potentially serving Thanksgiving meals or volunteering at a shelter where they give out meals and you can volunteer once a quarter, you're going to want to do that. So survey your staff or look to what charities or volunteer activities you're already involved in. I'm in Florida. There's a ton of beach cleanup, save the sea turtles, keep the springs clean. We care about the water a lot here. So that's what you can lean into. You want to be regional. Also, your Better Business Bureau, your local chamber of commerce, these local business groups and organizations can provide you with a schedule of activities. You might be able to get a booth at one of them. We have another client, his target market, he likes dealing with people who are over 50 in demographic. You can reach out to some of these large retirement centers. People are super active these days. Pickleball, if there's pickleball groups, get into that. Find out what you're interested in, what resonates with you, and then what's also in your community. Within the retiree community, they often have a lot more time to get briefed. They're a very important target demographic for their overall health. Alzheimer's and the connection to dental health, huge, huge button. How do you keep your dental health? How do you keep your, clarity, your mind sharp, brain health? All of these things are interrelated, and that demographic does have a lot more time to hear, a briefing from a local dentist on how you can help them. So survey, number one, look inside your practice, look outside your practice, find something that resonates, and then use your local channels to find those community activities. We have a ton of farmers markets. You might have that in your area as well. You can get a booth there. It really depends on, the price and different things like that, but there's lots of ways to get out into the community. And then when you do, capture it for social media.
And then when you capture it, make sure you tag the other communities in your posts as well for further exposure.
Exactly. Okay, good. Huge button here, how to pose for cameras and act naturally. It's really going to come down to practice, practice, practice. If you do come for training locally here, you can work with any of our team members. We will help you film videos. We will give you feedback. I'm always trying to tell photographers to tell me to stand up straight. So that's number 2 in here. Smile coaching. You don't want to be too strained. Practice smiling with your teeth slightly apart. It looks more natural. As Dan has mentioned before, you have to turn up the energy. A conversation with your spouse or your best friend, if we recorded it, it would appear low energy. So you have to crank up the volume, crank up some animation. It comes across on video. Body positioning, angle your body slightly to be more flattering. Relax your shoulders. Drop your arms naturally. Very hard for me. Again, if you know your weak points, whoever's filming you, tell them to coach you. Tell them if you start to have bad posture, correct it. Don't just record for 10 minutes with bad posture. If you're coaching yourself, you can do self-filming, practice how it feels when you like the way you look on camera. A lot of people do this for their weddings too. If you take a photo or take a video where you like the way you look, You're going to have to memorize what that felt like in your body. Okay, good. I did do the mouth slightly open. It was super uncomfortable for me, but this is what that felt like when it looked great on camera. So learn your angles, learn what looks good on camera, and then how that feels to perform that action. Video tips: look at the camera as if talking to a friend. Keep gestures natural. Don't freeze your hands. I always talk with my hands. Feel free to talk with your hands. Don't lock them, on your lap, or, it's okay to gesture, be natural. I'm kind of reading and moving my eyes around, but I'm trying to look at the camera. You don't want to, don't choose a focal point that's not the camera. It will look a little bit odd. Unless you're doing an interview setting, then you can look at the person you're talking to. But in most cases, look directly at the camera. Confidence boost: take a deep breath before recording. Do one practice take to get comfortable. Practice, 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 practice. The more time you're in front of the camera, the easier it will be. And choose your setup. Once you find a setup you like, if you know this window has good lighting, this tripod is set to the setting, just keep that going. No need to reinvent the wheel every time. If you're running around, you can still make it work. But when I film and I'm running around, it takes me longer to set up if I'm finding the light or finding my tripod spot. Okay, how to market during open enrollment. We wanted to talk with Lisa about this. So we have broken this into two sections: people who accept insurance and people who don't accept insurance. So open enrollment is a great time where people are thinking about going to the dentist. They know they need potentially some big procedure, so they might sign up for dental insurance. Or if you have a membership plan or a new patient special or $500 off of X large treatment, you can get them before they decide to sign up for insurance and just have them come to you as a dentist. Email campaigns. I love what Tracy and Alex said about the video. You can feature these short videos about open enrollment in your email campaigns, in your social media, in text message blasts. So if you're a non-insurance practice, you can promote transparent pricing, financing, specials, and membership. Okay, all the things I just said. And if you're an insurance practice and you really love one particular insurance, talk it up. If you love this particular type of dental insurance and you feel it offers great coverage and benefits and they're easy to work with, mention that. Don't just say enroll for dental insurance. Say, we're a dentist and we believe that this insurance is the best for our patients if you're going to go with insurance. Social media: no insurance, no problem. If you accept insurance, how do you maximize your benefits? Use it or lose it. We're going to keep saying that for the Q4. It's just going to be something you hear over and over. Plan education, behind the scenes claim help. If you offer to, again, some people don't accept insurance, but they'll offer to submit the bill. You can explain that on social media. We try to help make it easy for you. This is how we break down your bill. You can call us and we have a dedicated billing specialist who will explain it to you. Any of the things that you have in place, feature that on social media. Community outreach. So here, I know there was an earlier question about how do you reach companies. You want to go to HR, you can find them on LinkedIn, or you can find them on their website. The larger the company, potentially the bigger bang for your buck, or a medium company might be opening to partnering with a dentist. A lot of people in culture or HR groups, they do need to have these like health seminars. So if you want to come in and again, talk about oral health and how that relates to it, again, email us if you don't have the patient guide to oral health. It's like 50 pages of how your dental health impacts your physical health. That could be something where you reach out to HR and set up these presentations and go in with, a brochure or something like that. Special offers. Again, we're going to say it again, use it or lose it. And all the specials I mentioned. If you have a good membership program for a lot of, healthier people or maybe people who do need some dental work, it's going to make more sense to go with your membership and get help with financing rather than pay out of pocket for dental insurance with a high deductible. And some people just don't know that. So it's education, education, education on how you can help them during the open enrollment period. Good education, referral. Yep. You can always emphasize the referral program when you're talking about open enrollment. Listed in your Google profile, very important, and direct outreach. You can always use your reactivation program to talk about open enrollment. If you're on digital reactivation with us, you can do campaigns specific to what you offer during that open enrollment period. Okay, good. So this is going to be more interactive. I won't be just presenting to you. So we're going to be looking at winning versus failing promo, a side-by-side look. So fire up your chats. I'm going to see if you can notice some things about this promotion. But first, I want to reorient everyone who's done the new patient workshop. So the successful promotional formula is 1, attract, 2, interest, and 3, message. Catch people's eye, get them interested. Okay, this is something I could use. And then what's your message? Schedule a free consultation or something similar. So we're going to go into these promos. Most of them I've gotten from Canva, so you're not going to hurt my feelings. I did not design this. No one on this call has designed these. So if you can zoom in, take a look, put in the chat, what do you think is right about this promo and what do you think is wrong about this promo? Procedure shown. Okay, good. Yes. Bad grammar, too many words. Yep. No contrast, not bold. Huge point. It does get you thinking of a dentist. Boring, barely see the practice name. Yes. Good. So when we look at the attract portion of it, am I super attracted to a dentist whose face I can't see and a guy's open mouth? Not really. This doesn't have a strong attract component. If I got past not being attracted to it, dental care, I don't know. I have a dentist, like, what's the interest? I can't really tell. Yeah, I don't like the font size. Good. As you mentioned, it's kind of like blue on blue on blue. The white text is a little hard to read. Your smile, our commitment. I don't know what that means. And then I probably wouldn't even read it. It's like a little cluttered. Luckily, it does include the phone number. Yeah, weak call to action. Contact us is not a strong call to action in the dental industry. It's not helpful. So we could really fix this up. Very good for all of those critiques. We didn't get past attract. We didn't get to interest. We didn't get to message. Again, you could look at this and be like, the spacing is kind of graphically designed fine, but I want everyone to think with, you can go onto Canva and type dental promotion, but unless you analyze it for attract, interest, message, it looks good at first. And then you get into it and you're like, what is this going to accomplish for my practice? So let's look at the next one. All right. What is right or wrong about this promotion? Yeah, you'll get some interesting ideas from AI for sure. AI doesn't know attract, interest, messaging. What do we like? Good teeth, happy patients. I agree. No phone number. Great catch. Too much going on. Yep. I would agree from an attract test. Like I said, I'm a millennial. I think these patients are pretty good looking. It kind of makes me think about like, oh, should I get my teeth whitened? Yeah, practice name, not that prominent. I don't know why they don't do that on these promos. So for me, this passes attract. I'm like, okay, looking for interest. You are a perfect dental care partner. I'm not interested at that point. I'm not looking for a dental care like, I don't know. I'm attracted because I want to be attractive. I want to look better. And then they're like, you're a perfect dental care partner. It doesn't really mean anything. Are you ready to unlock the potential of your smile and start your journey to excellent oral health? It's okay. At this point, I want Invisalign. And I want you to talk about how great I'm going to look when my teeth are healthy and white. Alan is our deputy COO. He's getting all these points. Yeah, no call to action. For more information, again, ultra weak. I wouldn't send them to my website. I would want them to call me. Best potentially scan a QR code. So again, yeah, logo in the bottom right corner. Font is hard to read. So again, at first you're like, okay, this is nice. And then not so much. You'll also see that every single one of these promos is blue. I don't get it. Everyone in the medical and dental field has to be blue, but you'll see we don't have to do that. So let's keep going a little bit. Okay, pros and cons of this. Where are we at on attract, interest, message? What's good? What's bad? I will say, yep, still no phone number. Yeah, good pic, shows pain. Way too small for name. Yep, exactly. If you're in pain, it attracts. I agree. I think the photo is very good. I think it passes the attract. Like I'm like, okay, wow, yeah, we should do something. Cute line, can't handle the tooth. Yes, could be. I was a little bit confused. They keep on talking about like, don't keep your tooth waiting. And I'm like, this is about me. This is not about my tooth. This is about my pain. So, they're trying to be clever. I don't know that it totally works. Again, there's a real issue with contrast here. White should not be on white. Can't handle the tooth. Don't worry, we can. I can hardly read that. I totally agree. Book a consultation today should be bold. If this is a social media post, you could think, well, my phone number is in my profile. There's a book that our CEO, Jeremy Blumberg, recommends called Don't Make Them Think. Maybe outdated. I agree. I don't care if this is a social media post. You must put your phone number on it. You don't want someone looking in the comments, looking in the captions, going to your profile. I don't care if I'm scrolling and I see this and I'm like, I have a toothache. I just want the phone number. And I don't want to think about like, if I can read that logo, which I can't. Cruz and Garcia Dental Clinic, microscopic. Exactly. Make it easy to contact you. So again, some of these photos are good. Graphic designers can usually hit it with the photo. And then the interest and message is just, so you're going to need to really own this and check all of your marketing to make sure it's effective. Okay, good. Here's another one. Thoughts on this one? Again, I like the illustration. I like the clean teeth. You could have an attract here. Yep, there's an alignment issue. This is kind of, it wobbles off to the left. Very wordy, I agree. I tried to blow these up as big as possible, but it was really hard for me too. Yeah, logo too small. I don't know why. Number too small, exactly. Phone number is too small. Too many words. We care for your health. Book a free consultation now. You don't need a book. Yep, the word clinic. Okay, yeah, Lisa. If Lisa's the target audience for this, she could think the picture is unprofessional, the illustration. The clinic, yeah, makes me think hospital or doctor. We will coach you to not say dental clinic on your Google business profile. It typically means someone who is accepting Medicaid or Medi-Cal or one of those other programs that most of our clients are not. So you don't want to say clinic. Again, this could fool you into thinking that there's some, meaning to check health nurse. That doesn't mean anything. So if you typed in your phone number here, we're not getting any message here. Illustration doesn't match the intent of the ad. I agree. Yeah, the text and image don't match at all. Again, this is probably like a template, but the template can really lead you astray because it's way too wordy. It's not really setting you up for success out the gate. Kids dental care. All right, thoughts on this one? This is kind of what we've been going over. No phone number. I guess the logo is a placeholder. Yeah, where's the info? Again, if it's a social media post, if we're talking about kids dental care, which is missing an apostrophe, yeah, only good thing is the pic. Like kids dental care and like removes plaque and tartar is like not jiving for me. In addition to missing anything else, like, I want my kids to be comfortable, calm, 10 years experience dealing with children of all ages. Like what's going to make the parent feel comfortable? Like you remove the plaque. Okay. Do you have to sedate him to do that? Like what are we talking about here? It doesn't communicate anything. It's such a cute photo. And then it's just like what are we doing with the kids? And exactly, maybe it's on the back, but we're missing enough info to get them to turn the postcard over or click on the comment. You don't want them to do that much work. Good. And it doesn't say the name of the practice. Okay, good. So we're talking about the real deal here. So Parisa was very generous. She shared her successful postcards. Parisa Jamshid, she's the COO of Encino Dental Studio. These are postcards she sends out. It's called EDDM, Every Door Direct Mail. So you're like choosing zip codes and blasting it to those people. So here, are you suffering from tooth pain? Well, first of all, again, you don't have to like illustrations, but I understand the illustration. It caught my attention and I got it. Okay, yeah. Are you suffering from tooth pain? No. Are your gums bleeding? Yes. So the interest is there. It caught my eye with Attract, and now actually my gums do bleed. So I'm interested. Call today, her phone number, new patient special. I'm seeing some comments on too busy. It's possible. There's a lot of information here. It was hard for me to capture the whole thing, but what I do like, I mean, this gets good response from her. We could improve it, but I like that it has a clear call to action, a clear phone number, a clear new patient special. It has this benefit that says online booking 24/7 on our website, which I also think is super helpful. I'm sure if I had this full size, it would be a bit easier to read. It also says across the street from the coffee bean. So if I knew where that was, it would be like, okay, I'm locked in. I know where this is. I agree with Tracy. The color is also part of Attract. It's like a bright color. So I think that's all very helpful. I would say the only thing, again, Parisa is very generous sharing her real effective postcard designs with us. White on yellow tends to be a little hard to read, just as like a color theory point. But the pink is very eye-catching. The colors are very eye-catching. I love these offers. Again, even if I had dental insurance, I might come here instead because I'm interested and I know my dental insurance doesn't cover that much. And I can see they're offering a lot of ways to help me, including a free second opinion. Let's see the next one. Yeah, pick of the dentist would be good. Agreed. I recently coached a client on that point, Rindy, where he was like going to send out some postcards, but it was like pictures of implants, which tend to scare me. I know they're very good and effective, but I was like, why don't you put a picture of your family? They're a family practice. It's the doctor, his wife's the office manager, the kids are in the practice. I was like, you want to promote to families, show a picture of the dentist, show a picture of your family. That's much more real to your prospects than, a picture of a dental implant going into someone's jaw. Are you suffering from tooth pain? Okay, good. So Attract, if you're in pain, this is gonna make you confront that you're in pain. I love that. Yeah, office staff can get great response. You look friendly. People are scared of the dentist. They want to go to a friendly place. Excellent points. For this one, again, we're leaning into the Attract is the pink. It's the photo. It's professional. The interest is like, I have to confront what's going on in my mouth. Like I have a problem. The message, are you suffering from tooth pain? Need a Saturday or an evening dentist now? Call today. Super clear call to action. Dang, they're open on Saturdays and evenings. Great. Free second opinion, free consultation, free braces and Invisalign veneer consultations, and discounts. Like, I'm going to get some good service when I go here. And then you have the new patient special. So I like all of those points. Yeah. And this is one that works really well. Good feedback, Regina. This is something that works. It's a real postcard that's had some real thought put into it. And again, the back is similar, but again, super clear offers. The pink really attracts. You have the phone numbers on both sides. You have the address on both sides. You have the website on both sides. I believe you have a QR code on both sides. 2 locations on this point. Like, I'm going to find you and I'm going to get help. So great. Actual real postcards, not just a design template that hasn't had any thought put into it. And let's see what else we got. Okay, good. Sorry I put this at the end, but this is their referral card, which I think is awesome. It's not just a business card. It's got the offer inside. It's got a pull out with an inspirational quote of Michael Jackson. Like, it's a whole package. It feels tangible. It feels like a gift certificate to me. I would keep that if someone referred it to me. It's something a little bit more than just like, here's a business card or punch card or something that can be thrown away. So bit of an investment, but I really like this referral card. Extra love to Parisa, who shared all of her promo with us and allowed me to share it with you. But, really great. Again, great message, inspirational, branded, gentle dentistry and personalized care. Just a ton of good points that make this beyond a business card. So keep that in mind. So that's what I got in terms of our promotion. I hope that was helpful. I do need to congratulate our August Boo Basket winners. So, You've been working with our team. These are doctors who recorded at least 3 scripts during the month of August. Dr. Matthew, I hope you're still here. She recorded 10 scripts in August. She won the Boo Basket and an inflatable light. And then here are our other August winners who absolutely killed it. Very well done. There she is. Congrats, Dr. Matthew and Regina. Very well done. Estefania told me you're really tracking the numbers of how many scripts everyone got done. So as a reward, we sent them these, Boo Baskets. It's like little masks and things that are Halloween themed that you can put on. You can get your staff to put them on for your social media videos. You can take pictures with your patients when they come in the office. You can decorate your office. September 23rd, totally valid time to be decorating for Halloween if you guys get into that. So we hope you're using those. For everyone who's playing the September game, we have a great autumnal basket that's got some cool garlands and leaves and all of that. So work on making your videos. Yay! I'm glad Dr. Ellis's Boo Basket arrived. So very well done to all of you who played that. So I hope this has been helpful. I'd love to open it up for Q&A for our last 5 minutes here. Any other questions that we didn't touch on? Anything else you want me to answer or me to ask Dan about? Good. Awesome. Well, I'm going to drop our emails in the chat again. You can reach out to any of us. I mentioned so many guides. Really, if you are lacking in training material, you can also reach out. If you remember nothing else, info@blumbergdigital.com. I love it. Good. So if you want the guides on the referral scripts, how to film testimonials, if you still haven't gotten your HIPAA release form, anything you need, if you want any copy of this particular presentation to refer back to, email any one of the emails I just dropped into the chat. We're happy to share those guides with you. We're happy to get you extra coaching on any subject you need more help on. But we really hope this was actionable, useful. I'm glad you all have your critical glasses on for your promo. Don't download something from Canva or ChatGPT and think it will work. It has to attract interest message and pass that test. Anything I'm forgetting, Miriam? Anything you want to chime in with in our last few minutes here?
No, I think we covered a lot of it. Again, if there's more specific questions, go ahead and ask us. Also, like you touched upon this several times, Britt, but basically, I would say about 90% of what we went over is all covered in our Gold Marketing platform. And our account managers are amazing at coming up with individualized social media strategies for you, guiding you on what works, what doesn't work so well. They have a very close eye on your posts. We see them, we see your Google business profile, we see your website, we see your social media posts, and we know what works and what doesn't. And based on that, we can give you more advice on what to do more of, what to do a little less of, what to change, etc. But that's the overall platform that covers it all. And even if you're not on the Gold platform with us, you can always go ahead and reach out to one of us and we'll help you and give you tips and tricks and advices. Because at the end of the day, the overall purpose is to get your office expanding into the levels you want to get to. And we're here to help you with that.
Yeah, we're always here. It's a huge part of our mission and ethos is client education. We really don't gatekeep on information. Anything you can DIY, we're going to tell you how to do it and implement it. We just want you to implement it and your practices to grow. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you to Julia, Tracy, Alex, Parisa, and Kathleen for being so generous with your successful actions and what you do in your practices. We really appreciate you all being here. We will see you at the next one, hopefully with the Salvatores. So thank you again. Have a great month and week, and we will see you soon.